What's going on, guys? Boy Joey 672 coming to you guys with a live stream right now. I have my boy IamCarlo here. How you doing, bro?
I'm just hanging in there. You know what I'm saying? Had some technical difficulties and shit, but everything's going all right now, I guess.
Yeah, we're sorry, guys. We're a little bit late. We just had some technical difficulties, but we're good now. We're good now. So, jump right into it. Well, the Eagles season, the offseason starts for 2020. It is officially started, and a lot of questions at the end of our playoff loss against the Seahawks. Seeing Andy Reid win a Super Bowl was nice. And there was a lot of questions about this coaching staff this whole entire year. And from what Doug was said at his press conference at the end of the year press conferences, apparently they were keeping wide receiver coach Carson Walsh, and they were keeping offensive coordinator Mike Groh. But that did not happen afterwards, after hearing that they were staying. And now they are gone. And that was the first. Howie Roseman laid the law down, and both Carson Walsh and Mike Groh are gone. So what was your reaction to both of them leaving?
Personally, I was happy as hell they were gone. I was pushing that for a while, that campaign that I wanted, Mike Groh and all of them going. And I want them going mid-season to make a statement. I was like, yeah, make the statement. Last time we were on air was after we lost to the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
That experience and everything. And I just thought all year long, like, man, everything he's shown is just not, especially the Golden Tate thing back in 2018 when he was saying, I don't know how to use, like basically saying he don't know how to use the guy in front of the press. I'm like, this guy does not know how to coach. Now, don't get me wrong, he was a great wide receiver coach. He was great wide receivers coach. But talking about Mike Groh. Now, if we were able to somehow keep him and tell him, hey, we're going to demote you, but you can't really do that in that kind of business. That's why we just got rid of him completely. Now he's with the Colts. He's a wide receiver coach, Mike Groh. But yeah, I was with getting rid of him completely. And I was like, man, we could bring in this person and that person and this person. And then now it's what it is. But I'm happy he's gone. And the rest of them, too, honestly.
Yeah, so the Eagles were very aggressive. Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie had a lot of hand in this with this coaching staff. So a lot of changes, a lot. And we really can't say much about it right now because the season, of course, hasn't started yet. But I'm going to go over some of the coaching changes now. So Matt Burke is now the defensive line coach. He was the assistant for Jim Schwartz last year. Oh, and talk about Jim Schwartz. We didn't know if he was going to get a head coaching job or not. I know a lot of people were on the fence about Jim Schwartz and everything like that. I didn't really care if he left or he stayed, but I'm actually glad he's back. So that's with that. So Doug Peterson is now going to be his own. He's now going to be the offensive coordinator pretty much, and he's going to have his offensive assistants, okay? Press Taylor is going to be the passing coordinator. Jeff Stoutland and Deuce Taylor will be the run coordinator, something that the 49ers do with that front office as well. They pretty much do the same thing. The assistants for Doug Peterson, Rich Scangarello, which he was a quarterback coach for the 49ers a couple years ago, and then he was fired from Denver last year as the offensive coordinator. Andrew Brainer, he was a passing coordinator for Mississippi State. So I don't know too much about him, but that's pretty much all I know. And a new DB coach came in. Corey Unlin gets a defensive coordinator job with Detroit Lions, which I was like, wow. But then finding out that him and Matt Patricia are actually really good friends, which I found out. So now Marquin Manuel is a new DB coach. He's a fired up guy. He was actually he was a defensive coordinator when the Falcons choked at the Super Bowl against the Patriots a couple years back. And he's been an assistant. He was an assistant coach when Peyton Manning was at quarterback for the Colts. So he's got a really good resume. He's been a head coach. He's been a coordinator. He's been all over the place. So he's got a lot. He's got a really good resume. So, and then at wide receiver coach, Aaron Moorhead is the new wide receiver coach now. Used to be a player for the Colts and kind of jumped around a little bit. And on top of all of that, for the third straight year in a row, Howie Roseman is now going to be changing the medical staff a third year in a row, which is crazy. And this team with the injuries, we all know what that's all about. I mean, at the end of the year press conference, Howie was talking about, oh yeah, well, we hired a new chief medical examiner back in June, and I'm like, in June, you know. And this is going to be the third year where maybe it's not the chief medical examiner. Maybe they got to switch some other guys around. They're not doing, whatever to keep these players good and healthy all year. So what do you think about all these? I mean, the more change, for me, the more change, the better. I didn't think this was going to happen. I thought maybe less was going to happen, but that's a lot of changes to a coaching staff in 1 year. So I don't know. What do you, your thoughts on that?
I mean, in my personal opinion, like at first when I heard about it, I was kind of like, damn, because I saw a lot of these offensive coordinators that I really wanted, these flashy names. Or Jim Caldwell was my main guy. So the guy used to be a head coach. He's a guru of quarterbacks. He took Stafford to the playoffs a few times. Only a few Pro Bowl appearances that Matt Stafford has was under Jim Caldwell. So I really want him. And then there's one guy from USC. When I first seen his name, I can't remember his name on top of my head. When I first seen him, I said, I don't know about college, whatever, this, that. But then I was reading how he does the air raid and how he renovated their offense. So I was like, okay, bring him in. Then the guy from the Ravens quarterback coach. Yeah, I was like, bring him in then, because all these people that interviewed somehow did not want to stay. I think it's because they couldn't call plays. But then we did this, and I said, well, this ain't what I thought. Now, I ain't going to lie to you. One guy that a lot of people were telling me we should have got, and I didn't even think he was even going to be available, was Joe Brady, the LSU's pass game coordinator, whatever the hell they were calling him. And I'm like, man, and I know he's a college coach or was a college coordinator, but he also came from the Saints. So he basically took the Saints offense. It's a West Coast offense, but with Saints style into it, brought it to LSU, remade Joe Burrow and all that. So I said, hey, I would like to bring him here, but I don't think he's going to leave LSU. Why would he? Why would he? He can make more money there and maybe have a dynasty going on there. But he decides to leave and goes to the Panthers. I was like, wow. Even though he was available to even become an offensive coordinator in the NFL, I was shocked. But that's here nor there. But when they did this, I said, I don't know about this shit. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know about this. But then I seen how the 49ers did it this year. And in 2018, I heard that the Rams did it too.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, consultants. You have an offensive-minded coach who they're all top 3 offensive-minded coaches, whether it be Doug, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan. I almost said Mike Shanahan.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan. Those 3 are offensive-minded coaches. And, they're going to call plays regardless if it's an offensive coordinator or not. So, Laurie was at the Super Bowl. Just because what does he interview win the bowl? We all know that he was talking about it. Blah blah blah. I know he must have bumped into people, talked to people. Everyone around the league they talk and stuff, and he must have seen something and said, you know what? We got Doug. Doug won the Super Bowl calling plays. These guys are in the Super Bowl, but they're doing it differently. Maybe we don't need an offensive coordinator. Maybe, and not so that he wanted more fresh ideas for a stale offense that we already have for it to get better. And then I look at it and I say, you know what? This might make sense. This might work. It might. We'll see. So instead of having – and now I said to people, if this works, it's going to revolutionize the NFL because now everyone's going to start doing it. If a third team does it, even if we just make the playoffs next year or get division around and our offense is high flying everywhere, every other team's going to start doing it. Every other team. And I look at almost like Andy Reid. Andy Reid, we already know he calls the plays. He's the head honcho. He's one of the best minds in the league in terms of offense. Andy Reid is the type of guy, he would have done this last year or the year before. But the reason why Andy doesn't do it is because people don't know this, but he actually wants to get people head coaching jobs. This is why he hires coordinators. You know what I'm saying? Like brings in Doug Peterson, a guy who was his former coordinator. Make it offensive coordinator. Then hypes him up to the owners like Jeffrey Lurie to hire him. Matt Nagy. And now the other guy, you know what I mean? Like Eric Enenby, whatever his name is. You know what I'm saying? Like all these guys. But that's Andy. He's old school way, and Andy wants to do it that way. And, get people jobs and stuff. for me personally, as an Eagles fan, if it works, I don't give a rat's ass about getting someone else a job. You know what I'm saying? I want to, but that's what I'm trying to say is if this works, this is going to be the new way of working. Now, the old school coaches are still going to hire offensive coordinators, like the Bill Belichick's, Andy Reid's. They're still going to hire, coordinators to try to get them head coaching jobs in the future and stuff like that. But, yeah, I don't know where to go with it, though. I really don't. I look at it and I said, this might be good. We'll see what happens. You got a whole different ideas inside, the building. It might be an unpredictable offense. It might be, what we need. Like I saw on Twitter today, they were saying they're looking for like an attack that's going to be unpredictable / this, that. And I'm like, I kind of starting to like it the more I read about it. At first, I was like, consultants, the hell? Like you were flipping out. And I agreed with you. And I said, man, this is not good. It took me 2 days to make a video because I didn't even know how to even comprehend. I'm like, consultants. I'm like, hold on, what the hell is going on? I'm like, are we going to hire 5 people to coach one from wide receivers? One teach them how to catch balls. One teach them how to run routes. One teach them how to, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, but then as I looked at like I said, the 49ers did it. Rams do it. It's working. We'll see. But I'll tell you what, though, it's a little, Doug's probably happy with it. And there's a lot of more people in the room. But if he starts to fail with it, which I'm not going to say fire Doug. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it because he won us the Super Bowl and he's shown he can, succeed and all that stuff and get us to playoffs how many years in a row now, but 3 or whatever it is. But if it doesn't work for like a few years, there's no more scapegoat. It's him. And I don't know if he thought that through or not, but I don't know. I'm just saying, like, damn, it's really going to fall on you. Like, all right, we fired Mike Groh. We brought in 10 coaches, and you're still going to call the plays anyway, and it's like on you, everything. But we'll see how it works. I think it might be. I think it might work. I don't know if it's going to take until mid-season to work, if it's going to, or if it's just going to come off the bat. They're just going to come out with like almost an air raid offense, just boom, 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 everywhere, lighting shit up. We'll see, though. It depends, once again, the draft, free agency, who they pick up. That's my personal opinion of what it comes down to. Because we already know how Doug calls offense. We already know he can call an offense. We already know how Carson Wentz can play. It's going to come down to the weapons and who's healthy and whatever. But we'll see, man.
Yeah, Jeffrey Lurie wanted to bring more heads into the room, like new ideas and stuff like that. So, I understand. Well, yeah, after like a few days, because I was like a council. It's like a council. Yeah, that's all I said, a council. So I didn't know what to really expect of it. We really can't even say anything now because, we haven't brought the players in yet. We haven't hit the draft. We haven't hit free agency. We haven't even hit preseason. So, as of right now, they just need, to get this roster together or just to get the coaching staff together and then try to do something. So that's what I'm hoping for. So I'm actually glad there was a lot of changes. I didn't expect this many changes or a totally different type of, a council type thing instead of just having one coordinator and that's it. So I'm pretty happy with that. So when I go to the free agents, so the Eagles have 18 free agents this year. It's a lot. And Howie Roseman said at the end of the year press conference that he's had a problem with he's had a lot of emotion with a lot of these players. It's hard to let go of players. He's had some favoritism. This front office had some favoritism towards the veteran guys, and that's not how you build a team to the point where these young guys never really got a chance. And then finally, when we had to win the East and we're down to nobody, and they did it. And unfortunately, a loss of the playoffs, losing Wentz to a dirty hit from Clowney. And, I really wasn't even upset over it. That those guys fought to the end. And you know what? I couldn't even be mad about losing it, really, because I'm like, the guys just won great month. They fought, and that was pretty much it. So you're going to have some free agents now on the way. So guys that were going to re-sign, let go, or keep, whatever, re-sign. So our 2 corners and Jalen Mills and Ronald Darby are set to be free agents. I don't see both of them even coming back, period, whatsoever. It's just, we're done. It's time for a new era in Philly now with the cornerback position because we've been ignoring it for too long. We've been depending on the pass rush, and that kind of took a hit this year. I thought this was Fletcher Cox is probably his worst year he's ever had. not even just that, but at least going to, Alshon Jeffery. I mean, I know he's not a free agent or whatnot, but there's a lot of talks. Maybe he'll get traded, maybe not. It's a lot of, he's not going to be back until the first week of our first game. He's hitting 30. Jordan Howard is set to be a free agent as well. I don't see them bringing, him back just because they get a 5th round pick back. They get a pick if they don't resign him before June, the June date, whatever it is. So, what's your take on the free agents, and who do you want to let go? I mean, what the Eagles need to do pretty much, during this time of who to resign and going into kind of just maybe touching base on free agency a little bit.
Like I said, we have a lot of, like you were saying, a lot of free agents and a lot of moves we have to make and stuff. And I might be the only person with this opinion, and I know you said the same thing. You're like, you get rid of all the corners, and which I agree with. But for some reason, I feel if they can get them for cheap, I would bring back Jalen Mills as a second corner.
Yeah.
Because he is a solid second corner on the outside. And now if you go into free agency and you get a guy like they say in Chris Harris Jr., they're talking about
Logan Ryan.
Him or Logan Ryan or whatever, the guy from the Titans used to be the Patriots corner. You get him as the number one. He's a little like up there, but still in age. But you have him, and I think Mills is solid too. But the one guy on the roster that I still like, I'm not sure if he's a free agent or not, but what's his name? Travion LeBlanc.
He's here for another year. So
good. Okay, good. So I like him a lot in the slot, and you can see a lot when he came back after the injuries. He was just making plays, and I'm like, man, this is what I was talking about in the late games against the Giants and whatever. But the Mills is the one guy I was saying to people like, maybe we should just bring him back as a second corner, not the number one, the number two. He's decent. He's not the best. He can hold it down here and there. He makes the plays, and I know Jim Schwartz loves him. But I think the one team that's probably going to make an offer would be Detroit Lions, because the defensive coordinator is now, But what I'm saying is, I think he brings something to this defense where if you've noticed that our defense was playing shaky throughout the season, when he came back, it kind of got more juiced up, ready to go. I'm not saying he's the best corner around. Oh my God, this, that. He's decent for a 6th round pick, at least, as a second corner on the outside, and you have another one shutting this down, I think they could do something with that. So I would bring him back for like a cheap price or a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, whatever the hell. But if he wants like astronomical numbers and stuff, which he ain't even worth, which I don't think anyone's going to give him, his ass can get the hell to step it. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. But I don't know. And then there's the whole like Jason Peters thing.
Yeah.
With me, it's, I know I read some article today, and I'm like, man, they're talking about the Eagles can't do the Brian Dawkins 2.0, and just like let him go that way or this, that. I'm like, dude, listen, okay, I understand he's been here for years, and the ownership and all of us as fans want him to retire in midnight green as an Eagle, which he's going to one day retire and go to the Hall of Fame as an Eagle, but they want him to play his entire career in midnight green.
Right.
But Jason Peters, to me, it's just his time for me. It's up, and I feel Andre Dillard is like the games he played in as a starter on the left side, not the right, the left.
Right.
He did show me potential. I said, man, this guy can play, and we got something here. And he got a little year under his belt to learn under Jason Peters. And he also got to learn because he played right a little bit. He screwed up, and he knew, like, hey, like, this ain't my side. But, they were, switching stuff around. So the guy's got experience now a little bit. Jason Peters, I don't know why he still even wants to play. You know what I mean? I understand he still wants to, but he's 38. He's just he's getting hurt. If he gets hurt one more time, there's a possibility like he's screwed for life. Not screwed for life, but he's just going to be like in his older age when he retires, he's going to be all hurt and like all the time. You know what I mean? Like like just feeling bad, aching, pains. It's like, dude, just hang it up, man. You did what you had to do. You won a Super Bowl. I get it. You didn't play in the Super Bowl. I get that, but still. And I look at it and I say, like, I don't know how to go upon it, because I know they want to keep him here for as long as they can. I kind of want to keep him here just because I like the dude, and how long he's been here with the Eagles and how great he's been, Hall of Fame left tackle. It just the way I see it is that he has to go. They have to kind of convince him maybe just to retire. Like, listen, just retire, man, because I'm telling you, like, we'll bring you back if you want, but there's a possibility they bring him back, and if say they bring him in and tell him, like I read in that article, they can bring him back and tell him, hey, you could compete for the starting left tackle job, and maybe he loses it. So what? He's gonna sit out his 1 or 2 year contract on a bench? No, dude, he wants to start. Now, if they ask him that and he says he wants to start right away, he wants to be an immediate starter, which he is, then they tell him, okay, you walk, but we'll make it a big thing, kind of like the Chargers did. They put the big thing out, thank you, Phillip Rivers, and mutually part ways and da-da-da-da. Make it seem good. Not like the Dawkins one where he just screwed it all up. But, yeah, I'm ready to move on with Andre Dillard. That's just me. I'm tired of Chase Spears always being hurt. The false starts this year were just terrible. I mean, how many he had? It was more than he had in a long time. But, yeah, and then, so like I said, bring Mills back. Chase Peters, I think he can walk. I would actually, if there's a way Jace Peters could walk, this might sound crazy, but I would invest that money or some of it if he wants. I think he's going to get big money, Big V. He's going to get big money somewhere.
Yeah.
Some team that's desperate for, especially how hard tackles are to find or whatever, they're going to give him some money. And that's what I'm saying. So, but if you can, if no one's going to offer him anything, I would bring him back as a backup, dude. I'll invest that money that we invest in Jason Peters, invest it on Big V and bring him back. I'm not saying he's the best, but hell.
Yeah, no, like I understand. Like I'm kind of worried about the depth. Like even Jordan Mailata as well. The guy has so much. The guy could, if he could just know what he's doing out there. I mean, the guy's 6'8", 350 pounds. I mean, the guy is just unbelievable. He's been hurt the past couple of years. He hasn't had a healthy year yet. Big V is going to be really important. So, Isaac Seumalo, I'm not a huge fan of Isaac Seumalo on the left guard spot. He's a great run blocker, but pass protection is kind of dipped a little bit. Last year when Jason Peters came back, I was kind of like, about it. And this is where I really want Andre Dillard. You don't draft a guy in the first round like that and have him sit on the bench. I know he came in when he had to come in. When he played right tackle, he played horrible. So, you can't put him over there. But, I mean, what do you have behind this offensive line? I mean, against the NFC East, Matt Pryor was that right guard. You know what I mean? A Big V was at right tackle, and they really didn't play. They really didn't play well. And then we hit that playoff game. I know with Wentz being out and stuff, but Matt Pryor couldn't do anything. I mean, that's when Brooks was out, Lane Johnson was out. I mean, it was just a mess. I think an extension for Big V should definitely come. Something, whether it's 2 years, whatever. Make it 2 years. Just see what happens. Because Big V's played left tackle. I think he's played right guard. I mean, he's been all over the place pretty much, and he could probably play two positions, and he's very valuable. So I would see what we could do there. But Andre Dillard,
I think he also played left tackle the year Lane Johnson got suspended, correct?
Yeah.
And we were killing him. We're like, this man, he was playing right tackle. He was bad at it. But now, I look at the Andre Dillard situation, and I say, look, this guy, maybe he's better on the left than the right, but we were just killing Big V.
Yeah.
We didn't look at it the way we look at it now with this guy. But Big V with left tackle, he's decent. You seen he took us through the playoffs, got the Super Bowl.
Didn't miss a beat.
Got touched.
He gave up one sack against the Panthers that year. That was it. Other than that, he was fine. I totally forgot he was our left tackle later in the year. I totally forgot. I didn't even know. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, Big V's he's killing it. But Big V is good when he gets his reps. When he just comes in, you don't get the reps. You're not out there. You don't have the hot hand out there. You know what I mean? So that's just been a huge problem. So offensive line, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that they'll draft somebody in the later rounds, but somebody at least. I don't know, depending on what we do, by free agency and throughout before the draft and stuff, we'll kind of get maybe a good idea. So we'll see what happens with that. But we can go on to the safety position now so far right now we don't have safeties. As of right now, technically we have no safeties because Malcolm Jenkins wants a new contract at 33 years old, wants more money. He's got one more year left on his deal. He's not going to play on it. Rodney McLeod got restructured this past year for a 1-year deal, and McLeod is going to be gone most likely. So you pretty much have nothing back there. There's really nobody back there. I mean, I know Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz does a really good job, especially just imagine if you give Jim Schwartz some talent on this defense and what he could do with some of these guys. Like he's took I know you talk about Jalen Mills. I'm not a huge Jalen Mills fan, but I'm telling you, he was a seventh round pick. I mean, and for a 7th round pick, he's not bad. You know what I mean? He's not great, but he's not bad. So he's turned a lot. I mean, he's put in Rudy Ford at safety. He's put in Craig James at the right time to make plays. Sidney Jones is not going to be, a cornerback. Sidney Jones got nothing. I've given up on Sidney Jones. It is what it is. But Malcolm, I don't know what they're going to do. I honestly don't. I don't know whether to pay this guy go up to $14 million a year just because. I mean, he's the glue of this. He's the glue of this defense. So it's just hard to replace somebody like that. It just depends on how much he wants to get paid. So I don't know what you think about the safety spot with Malcolm and everything going on with that.
I've been kind of talking about that to myself and to people like, yeah, he wants more money. He is the glue of the defense. He is the leader. He is the captain, and he never takes plays off. He never takes snaps off. He's always there. He's always playing. I know his speed might have slowed down. He was never like the best in coverage in terms of deep balls or whatever. But, dude, he was always there. He was always, in the mix of things. And the way I look at it is, yeah, he's 30, whatever years old. But we know how bad it was when we lost Brian Dawkins and how many years we waited to get a safety. And how long it took until we finally got Malcolm Jenkins. And even when we had Malcolm Jenkins, or whatever the whatever safety, the other safety, the other side was bad too. So it was like whatever. But but what I'm saying is so I'm like, man, I might want to pay him just because I know what he brings. We already seen him in the Eagles green. We know everything he could do. We know what it's like to have no safety with the Dawkins situation. We did that. Went through the Nate Allens. I can name them all off. So it's tough for me, and I would like to see him finish his career here in Eagles green. And I think they might feel the same way. It's almost like remember the year we did win the Super Bowl. I don't know if you noticed or not, but literally like a few days before the Super Bowl, that rumor came out that before the season started, the Saints offered us
right
Brandon Cooks for Malcolm Jenkins, and thank God we didn't take it because look what happened. You know what I mean? Brandon Cooks actually got traded to the Patriots, and he knocked them the hell out real quick. But so I don't know. It's just tough. It's tough for me. I know the Saints, they still regret that, man. That they even got let.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They let them just walk, and they picked up the guy we were all wanting. Jarius Bird or
Yep.
Yeah. We all wanted him. I was like, Malcolm Jenkins, who's this motherfucker? Who's this guy? You know what I'm saying? I wanted TJ Ward or Jarius Bird. I was, who else? And then next he outlasted all of them. And he was better. He's TJ Ward, remember, I don't think he even played. He played a few snaps for the Saints towards ACL. And then they were all screwed up. I'm like, dude. And we got the steal of it. And that's how sometimes stuff works. But yeah, I would maybe give him the extension. Depending on how much how much money he wants. It depends on how much he wants. That's the thing. I do agree with him though. Coming from if I was him,
right?
If I was coming from his standpoint, I would say, I deserve more money for how much I'm out here putting up with dealing with trash corners. I'm trying to cover these guys up. I'm trying to cover up the back end. I'm trying to do everything. And like you were saying, credit to Jim Schwartz, man. Jim Schwartz, I say this all the time. This is why I'm kind of happy he didn't get fired. Now, I'm not a fan of him, and I'm not a hater of him. You know what I'm saying? Jim Schwartz. But like you were saying earlier, what he has done with nothing in that secondary has been awesome. I mean, since he's been here, we had a top 10 defense, top 5 defense, whatever. Yeah, our D-line's been awesome. But I said to people, like, man, he's been doing this with literally no corners. Just Malcolm Jenkins is safety, Riley McLeod, whatever, And then if a guy back comes, like all kinds of like mixture of just crazy stuff in the secondary. And we get smoked, but somehow he figures something out. And even he never even really had a legit like linebacker here
No.
with him. That's what I'm saying. Schwartz is a good coach. He's doing this with really nothing. And he calls almost all the defensive plays. That's why when people were talking about getting rid of him, I was agreeing with it. Then I started really looking at it, and I said, nah, we don't get rid of this guy. I said, because who can you bring in who is just as good as him, who's going to be literally the head coach of the defense, is going to call the defensive plays and know what the hell he's doing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's some guys I can name, but they're already hired. They're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? But, yeah. The Malcolm Jenkins thing just hurts. Like I said, I would keep him. I don't know how much he wants, but I don't know. And then Rodney McLeod, where we were talking about, with the hire of the new DB coach, I think he might see something. He might see something, and he might also say something to Jim Schwartz, like we could take Rasul Douglas or whatever and put him at safety or something like that.
Yeah, which we've been begging for them to do, but
I think he's going to look at it that way. He's going to look. He might look at it and say, "This guy's a safety. This guy's not no corner." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So then we go to linebacker, and linebacker is atrocious. It's probably the worst or one of the worst groups. I mean, Nigel Bradham's way too old. Nigel's got to go. Nathan Gary. I think Nathan Gary is a pretty good serviceable backup. His coverage ain't good, but he played with an injury. He kind of was hiding an injury.
All year long, he played with an injury. Yeah, he played that.
It was his chance to play, and he didn't want to say anything. I don't blame him. I mean, he can never have a chance like this again. So, you know what? Nathan Gary's a pretty good – I mean, for a guy that went from, safety to linebacker, transformed, I think he's become a pretty serviceable backup. I'm looking for TJ Edwards, the undrafted linebacker from Wisconsin. He's another guy that played a lot of special teams, got in a few times here and there. I'm going to be looking out for him in the offseason as well. But we haven't, the Eagles just seem to not value the linebacker position. I mean, that's just how it has been since Michael Kendrick, since Trott. I mean, it's been a while. So I don't even know what else to really say about it, but they should at least draft. I mean, I kind of was on board with drafting one in the first round last year, with Devin Bush and the rest of them guys. But there was only like two that were really good. Other than that, I don't know. There is some free agent linebackers. Blake Martinez from the Packers. He's probably going to be the highest paid there. Spot Track already has his Blake Martinez contract to be about 5 years, $80 million. I mean, just crazy money. Yeah, it's crazy money. A few other guys. Littleton's another guy from the Rams. He's probably more affordable, can play in a 4-3 scheme. So the Eagles could sign a mid-tier signing in free agency for a lot. They need to bring somebody in. They need to bring somebody that could play. That's still young, because right now it's just we're getting toasted up the middle. I mean, if our corners are bad and our linebackers can't go up and pick anything up, I mean, Jordan Hicks had to walk last year. It is what it is, and of course he didn't get hurt this year with the Cardinals. So I mean, of course that happens, and we know how this medical staff is. So it's just unfortunate. Oh, another thing I got to say is LJ Fort. Biggest mistake of the year, LJ Fort leaving. He goes to the Ravens and balls out like it's nothing. Just unbelievable. And they're letting these players go. Coaches have gone and became successful anywhere else. Gunter Brewer became the wide receiver coach in Kansas City. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So they need to, Raheem Munster. What the hell? In 2015 we had him, and he was pretty damn productive. We had him as a kick returner. I remember we had him as a kick returner, and he was making the first guy miss every time he had the ball in his hands in the backfield. Didn't keep him. So I've been kind of pissed off of how we've been, trying to keep guys on. I mean, they just, it's all about that friggin' Super Bowl. It's just the same guys. The favoritism of all the vets. It's the Brandon Graham signing was a different thing because there was no other defensive ends. Like Lawrence got tagged, Clowney got tagged. I mean, there was nobody to go after, so they had no choice. They actually paid a little bit less. They kind of gave him got a hometown discount Brandon Graham coming back. So I'm happy with that. And he was pretty damn productive this year. So the linebacker spot, they need to sign at least one free agent, something this year. So,
I mean, they have to. We really haven't had a legitimate linebacker since Jeremiah Trotter, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Not Miles Sanders. What the hell am I talking about? Michael Kendricks. Everyone was hyping him up, pumping him up. He was all right. You know what I'm saying?
He was okay.
You know what I'm saying? But
right.
he wasn't no Jeremiah Trotter. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. The Eagles don't understand that safety's important, of course, and other positions, of course, are important. But the linebacker in every great defense I've ever seen, whether it be the Ravens, whether it be the Steelers' old teams or whatever, the linebacker is the position. It's like the quarterback of the defense. You know what I'm saying? You have that stud, that beast, that brute right there. Right there is the middle linebacker. Man, you got it set, dude. And that's what I'm saying. I don't understand what they're not like. I don't know, man. Yeah, they got to pick up someone. And the LJ Ford thing really pissed me off.
Yeah, it did.
Once he left, I didn't really think of it. I was like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever, go. And then I see what he's doing with the Ravens, and I'm like, this is like the linebacker we've been waiting for since Jeremiah damn Trot. That's what I'm saying. Chris, he was on the roster. He was like, back up, whatever the hell, dude. I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, they definitely got to pick up a linebacker. I was even saying that, they got to draft one high, man. Not I don't know about this year they're going to do it, but last year I was saying draft one. The year before I was saying draft one. But this year maybe I got to see the guys. I know the one guy, what's his name? Isaiah Thomas or something like that. Is Thomas? But he's going to go in like top 10. We ain't going to have no shot of even getting him.
No.
He plays for Clemson. We have no shot at all at getting him. But I think the way our wide receivers have played and everything, I think those are the guys we're going to go in the first round. We're going to pick a wide receiver or safety or corner, hopefully. Or we might just go nose tackle or something again. I don't know.
or go the total opposite like they did last year, like D-line heavy, let's go offensive tackle. And then it's like wide receiver heavy, let's go linebacker or safety or something like that. I just have that stupid feeling, like, because they're going to do like some Eagles shit. Like some stupid shit's going to happen. Like, we can go to wide receivers. We can just skip and go to – I mean, the defensive line, I don't even know. Ridgeway is gone. We trade for Ridgeway and with 1 year left on his deal. Derek Barnett, I'm kind of disappointed in a little bit. It's been hurt the past couple. He's had a little nicked up injuries, but he's not playing like he should be. He's missed. I know he was hurt. He came back during that. I think it was the first or second Cowboys game. I think it was the second Cowboys game. I think, and missed a wide open tackle, one-on-one tackle on Dak Prescott, and he hasn't been the player that we all thought he would be, and just the numbers aren't there. I mean, he's going across the field, and he's getting in on the tackles and stuff, but he's not causing enough in the back right now, in the backfield right now. So, I'm really excited for Jannard Avery that we traded during the deadline, 4th round pick. Howie Roseman said at the end of the year press conference, he said that Jannard Avery wasn't supposed to really do much this year. He was supposed to have a whole offseason with the Eagles to be a future star. And the Browns fans were pissed about that. I remember seeing that. Yeah, they were pissed off. And Jannard Avery, I actually have a video up on my channel right now. He was working his butt off right now because he can play outside linebacker. He can cover. I mean, you can. And Jim Schwartz loves though he can move people around and do all that. He loves safeties with corners with safety background, linebackers. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. So, It's going to be really interesting to see what they do. Timmy Jernigan's gone. I mean, Jernigan really didn't – he was all right. He wasn't Timmy Jernigan from when we first got him, really. So Malik Jackson, never been hurt his whole career, comes back first game. He comes back. Malik Jackson, that was one of probably my favorite offseason signing last year. I thought him and Fletch next to each other was like unstoppable. But, of course, he gets hurt first game. He's out. And then it was hard to compliment that because everyone's going to double team Fletch the whole entire season. And then honestly, at the defensive end, I was happy with Graham. Barnett was just on and off, but mostly off. Josh Sweat is actually not done. He's actually done. He's been doing pretty good. Josh Sweat actually has improved a lot. He was a 4th round pick a couple of years back from Florida State. So Josh Sweat has done some good things, made tackles in the backfield, has gotten sacks. Vinny Curry didn't do a damn thing at all. Vinny Curry was just like, hey, I'm here, I'm back with my team, and that was it. So I wasn't really happy with Vinny Curry's improve. He didn't improve at all. He had a few sacks, but that Jet game don't count. That was just like a free for all for sacks all day. That was 10 sacks on the day for this whole team. So we could pretty much go to the wide receiver position. This is the position where I'm kind of like really eyeing a lot of, because I think the Eagles will eventually, with defense, I think they'll figure it out. I don't know what you think about the Eagles going after Byron Jones. That's another free agent that they can go after as well. But he's like, Logan Ryan would be less money because of his age, and he's not shut down. He's nothing special, but he's quick. He's not fast, but he's quick, and he's got that attitude. He's from Philly as well. So I don't know what you think about Byron Jones. He's not a turnover machine. He's he's productive, but he's nothing that's crazy.
That's the name I brought up earlier when I was talking. I said him, Logan.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You put Jalen Mills as number 2. You have him as the 1. But Byron Jones also, that worries me, and also the Amari Cooper thing worries me too, because being with Dallas and all that, like, I'm kind of done bringing Dallas players after the whole DeMarco Murray thing, and then after this Orlando Scandrick thing.
Yo, Sean Lee is a free agent too.
I'm not interested. He's already injury prone as all hell. He's a beast, but he's injured.
Yeah, well, yeah, he actually was his first year. I think his first year was this past year. Pretty damn healthy. So he's good. He's 32, 33, something like that. But I mean, he's still a good player. He can still play. He can start for a team right now. Without the injury, he's fantastic. I mean, he's fantastic without injuries. So
I admit that. Oh yeah.
So we go to the wide receiver position right now. We all know how this whole thing went down. We all know Nelson Aguilar is gone. Is just gone. Appreciate everything he's done. I have nothing against him, but the production can't be 2 bad years, 1 good year, 1 okay year, and then a bad year. We can't do that. So he's definitely going to be gone. So that slot is opened up. D-Jack is not going anywhere. There's no way. They cannot afford to lose his speed. Like, if they get rid of him, I hardly doubt it. Then you go to Alshon Jeffery, and this is the big question. I think this Alshon Jeffery situation is going to be the make it or break it for what moves they're going to make, because Alshon Jeffery, if they just release him, it's going to be $26 million in dead cap space, which is crazy. So he's making I think he's supposed to be making at least, I think, $9.5 million this, coming 2020. Alshon Jeffery is not going to be back until not just the first game we have this year. He'll be back week 1. I'm not talking about the week 1 of practice. I'm talking about like week 1, like the day before the damn game starts. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They need to. He's hitting 30. You know what I mean? I think his time is done. I think we need to get younger. I mean, this has got it. You have a huge opportunity. You have these free agent wide receivers. There's a lot of Demarcus Robinson from the Chiefs, and he can be a guy that comes in and can. I mean, he's been like a in and out player for the Chiefs, but very productive. But he's not an outside. He's not a number 1. He's a number 2. He's pretty much in the slot. He could be a slot guy. I think he could be more productive than Aguilar. But you have that. You have Robbie Anderson. I mean, and this draft is one of the heaviest drafts at wide receiver. I mean, and somebody's gonna come down to us. I mean, someone's going to slip. I mean, it's going to happen. The draft never really goes the way it goes. Like, the first maybe three picks of the draft. But other than that, a lot of quarterbacks going to be taken. A corner or 2, a linebacker. There's going to be some guys, getting taken. So, Alshon Jeffery, I think, just has to go. That's just my opinion of him. I think they can easily. And the Eagles have $43 million in cap space this year. They have plenty of cap, because they have to get this roster right this year. Because if they don't, that Carson Wentz extension by 2021 starts kicking in. And then what happens is we're not going to be able to make moves like this. They have to have a roster set up for years to come, for at least a few years, because that extension starts kicking in, Eagles are not going to be able to afford to sign a whole bunch of guys. They can't keep signing. They can't keep. Howie Roseman's got to stop doing 1-year deals. He's got to stop bringing guys in that are old or bringing guys in that have a year left on their contract. They need to get some guys in the building and get some, not just guys in the building, but get talent in the building, young talent in the building. And I think the perfect position for this offense going forward. I mean, I'm good with the running backs. I'm good with the O-line. Besides the depth, we need to figure out the depth and who they're signing behind that. But I'm good with a lot of people want Zach Ertz traded and all that crap was going on. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't think he's going anywhere from what Howie said. He's probably going to be an Eagle for life. Him and Dallas Goedert, best tight end duo in the league, in my opinion. But when it comes to the receivers, they got so many options. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of speculation about Amari Cooper. The Eagles are going to knock on the door on Amari Cooper and ask him to come here. I'm friends with a bunch of Raiders fans that hate Amari Cooper because he's always just got these, like, my shoulder, my calf, he's always
very injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
And before even coming to Dallas, he had one of the highest drop percentages in the league.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
He had real big time drops. And I don't hear because it's Derek Carr. Because Derek Carr is actually a solid quarterback.
He is.
Way better than Dak Prescott.
Yes.
Being honest. And it's not that, okay? It's that he just now he goes to Dallas, starts catching balls, but he's also hurt. And then when it's a big play against us to decide the division, he's on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Remember that? On the big fourth or whatever?
Yeah.
He's on the sidelines. So now I don't want that. And you know what I'm saying? Like, in general, they go knock his door down all they want. They bring him in. I'll be okay with it, whatever. But the way I look at it, honestly, is they're lucky that this draft, they're saying this might be one of the best wide receiver drafts ever. To the point where I watched the video. I was watching today. A couple scouts were talking, and they were saying there might be what's his name? CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb on the board, or a whatever. This guy or that guy, Justin Jefferson, whatever, blah, 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 on the board. He goes, but the draft is so stocked this year that a team might go, you know what? Yeah, they're on my board right now and they're available, but I'll just take a defensive tackle, and in day 2 I can take someone because it's that stacked. You got the guy out of Clemson. You got 2 dudes I think out of LSU. You got two out of Alabama. You got all these players, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and I see the Eagles. I want them first round to probably take a wide receiver, but I could see them doing exactly what that guy just said. Him take a deep tackle or something right there, and then day 2 get someone who's going to be solid. But free agency wise, I love Robbie Anderson. I loved him. I'm talking about back when he had that real good season a few years ago. He was on the TV saying, "Yo, get me in the Pro Bowl. Give me in the Pro Bowl."
Yeah.
Camera. I liked it. I thought he was the best deep threat in the league. I was reading articles about everything, and I was like, man, we got to trade for this guy. Trade for him. But and that wasn't this season. That was like a few seasons ago. But it depends how much money he wants. Because like this year, I've seen games where he played really well, and then where he just disappeared, and this that. So if he wants like top wide receiver money, I might like shy away from that. I might do exactly what you said. I'll take Robinson from Kansas City, put him in the slot, have him as a number 2, draft a guy. Also, we got to see what we get from J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Greg Ward also, I still want Greg Ward to stay in the picture. I think he'll be a fantastic slot receiver.
He's got 1 more year left on his deal.
That's what I'm saying. He has a lot more to prove, too. And
right.
I feel like he's hungry. And to have him just play slot, just strictly slot, just play the slot, be the third guy, I think he'll ball. Because he already balled doing everything else. When we had him outside, inside, outside, he was doing decent. He gets another year under his belt with Wentz. And you see the connection him and Wentz already had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you already see it going on. But yeah, the Robinson thing would be perfect, just in case you do want to draft a guy. And if Deshaun does get hurt again, you got a speedster. But I'm so like focused on if Deshaun gets hurt that I'm like, okay, yeah, get the Robinson. I want you to draft a receiver in the first round. I really like Riggs. Henry
Ruggs, yeah.
I love Ruggs. Sorry, Riggs. The hell am I talking about? Yeah, Ruggs. I love him. That would be one of the guys I would like to take if he's there when we pick. But I don't know. We'll see how it falls. And like you were saying, a lot of quarterbacks should be going in the draft, so we might have a good shot at some of these guys. Like there's one of these quarterbacks getting pumped up right now by the name of Jordan Love.
Yeah.
He's getting pumped up. He'll probably be a first-round pick from what they're saying. If he has a good combine, you already know how teams fall in love with these guys that are just random out of nowhere. Like, who the hell are these dudes? Fly overnight cats. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the? I've never heard of this guy. Now they were boom, boom, boom. But I think he'll be a guy that might go in the first round. So that might take something. That might drop a few players our way. But yeah, we'll see. But I do like I said, draft a guy. We have Deshaun. And the Alshon Jeffery is the main thing. I want him gone. But you said you can't cut him because the dead cap is too much. You have to find a team that wants to trade for him. I don't know who's going to want to. And if so, like, it's probably going to be, I ain't going to lie, it's probably going to be a deal where we're not going to get anything out of it. It's probably going to be like, all right, we'll give you a 4th round pick in 2021.
Yeah.
But if it's just to get if they'll accept his money, I'll take that just to get rid of him. Because don't get me wrong, I love the guy. You know, he was there for the Super Bowl run. He was fantastic. And even like in this year, I was pissed off and I heard all like the anonymous
burner accounts.
So burner account. So I thought it was him the whole time. So this fucking guy, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And then I'm watching the All or Nothing Amazon series. I watched some of it, and I seen how he comes back. And in the Miami game, he just like, wow, it made a change, or you know, he really started playing well. And like in this game, he started really, you know, like certain games he actually shows up, and then you're like, should we really keep this guy? And you're like, I don't know, but you know what? Yeah, I'm off it, man. I think we should move on. I'm sick and tired of the whole anonymous this, that, and you know it's probably him or Aguilar, but they're both going to be going. Well, Aguilar's gone. We already know that.
Yeah.
But the Alshon thing, I mean, I don't know who's going to take him, and I don't know how you can cut him. And then it's funny you talk about the cap. I read something the other day. I don't know if this is true or not, but with some new league rules or whatever, blah blah blah, or some BCA or whatever, that some guy was saying that if you're an NFL general manager and you're saving cap for a rainy day, that this year is the year to spend it because next year's cap doesn't lead over. Like the cap you have this year is not going to lead over to next year.
Right.
That's what I saw. A friend sent it to me. I said, I never heard of this. I don't know if this is true or if it's not. But yeah, so I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I don't even know that at all. I don't.
Maybe look it up, dude. I'm telling you, man. The guy sent me and it was like, yo, if you're an NFL general manager, if you were saving money for a rainy day, this is the year to do it. Because of some whatever rules after the lockout in 2011, it's coming up in 2021. The cap from this year is not going to carry over to next year. And I'm like, dude, yeah, then spend it all then, dude. You might as well. I mean, but I don't know. I might have to look more into it. This is some shit someone sent me, and I read it. I was like, it was a few months ago, but yeah, like I said, get the wide receiver draft, get Robinson, draft wide receiver, try to get rid of Alshon, which I don't know who's going to take, really. I mean, like you're going to have to. I mean, I'm willing to give up the dead cap, but I don't at the same time. What is it, $17-something million?
No, the dead cap is $26 million.
26. That's even more than 17. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to do that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to do that. Yeah. So I don't know, but I want Alshon gone. I think unless you have to keep him, then I have no problem having him. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. But I'm saying, like we don't know what's going to happen with Alshon when he comes back. I mean, we don't know. We have such a huge opportunity in free agency and the draft. I mean, you can't. So what? They're not going to go get a number one guy now because Alshon. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, it's so that wide receiver draft is so deep right now. Like 3rd round picks could be early seconds, 4th round picks can be early thirds. I mean, it's crazy. Like. Not only like CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy and Henry Ruggs, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Jalen Reagor from TCU, KJ Hamler from Penn State. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, The list goes on and on. So
It
it's
goes on every day. I'm finding out new dudes I never even heard of. Literally.
yeah.
Like, I'm just seeing dudes. I'm like, who's this guy? Like, and then I start looking them up. Like, I see people on Twitter talk about someone, or like they post. I see highlights. Then I start watching film, and I start like, oh man, this guy's good. You know, the guy. Yeah, like you were saying. Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, it's loaded, man. It's loaded, man. And we should be blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Be thankful that at this time we have no damn receivers and we can't do nothing. That it's probably the best receiver draft ever. In terms of, we'll see how the production comes out in the league, but in terms of their value and like everything, it's the best ever so far.
So I mean, and it's not even just that, but because you said like they can go a different position in the first round, then they can go like they go for one of those later receivers, that are just going to come in and start balling out. It is what it is, because the draft isn't going to, like, CeeDee Lamb might drop. You never really know. I wouldn't mind CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, or Henry Ruggs. If we got one of those three guys, I'd be happy like a pig in shit, literally. Like, I wouldn't even care. And then you have cornerback wise, the best corner in this draft is Jeff Okudah from Ohio State, and he's the best. I have the Lions taking him. I think the Lions have the 4th or the 5th or 6th pick, one of them early picks. Jeff Okudah, C.J. Henderson from Florida State. From Florida. Trevon Diggs from Alabama. He's another one that's pretty damn good. I really like Trevon Diggs. You can get him in the early 3rd to the late 2nd. I mean, the Eagles have 2 third-round picks this year, too, on top of it. So, I mean, and then the whole Jordan Howard situation. Now, when we trade that 6th-round conditional to the Bears, what happened was Jordan Howard had to get a certain amount of things happening during the year. He needed 1,000 yards, which he didn't do. He needed to be a Pro Bowler, which he didn't do. And there was a few other things he needed to do. He had to play like 55, 60% of the snaps, which he didn't do. So if the Eagles do not re-sign him if the Eagles don't sign him by June, whatever the June date is, they get a 5th-round pick back. So not even that, you got another 5th-round pick coming on top of another one. So the Eagles are not bringing Jordan Howard back if they're getting another pick. They need as many picks as possible, not even just for draft capital, but for capital to make trades or whatever the hell they got to do. Because you know how Howie Roseman has promised us. He promised us at the end of the year press conference. He promised us that the confetti will come down again. He promised us that he's going to be aggressive this year. You know what? And then when I think back to the trade deadline, and the trade deadline was bullshit this year. It was like Jamal Adams going to the Cowboys, just stupid shit, and it never happened. Just things just never happened. People were kind of making phone calls, but the Eagles are trying to get Darius Slay from the Lions, and they wanted I think he's 29 years old now, so that they wanted a 1st-round pick, and I did not want them to do that whatsoever at all. So I think he was being cautious. I think it was, we should have won the East a lot earlier this past year. But unfortunately, just this scheme that we were in, thinking, is it Wentz? Is the receivers? Is it Wentz? I mean, we didn't even know what the hell was going on until we saw that last month of football, and Wentz put the team on his back with practice squad receivers, guys like Greg Ward, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Robert Davis, that was an ex-possession receiver for the Redskins that came here and caught a few balls here and there. I mean, just crazy. Matt Collins was on the roster since September, not even a catch at all, period. And you know what happened? He went to Miami, and he was productive. He went to Miami, and he was productive. I mean, there was something wrong with this fucking coaching staff this year, which was pissing me off. So now I'm not saying it's clean slate. I'm not saying it's rebuild, but we shouldn't be having problems at wide receiver. We shouldn't be having problems at cornerback. This shit should have been addressed, but this is the perfect time because the cornerbacks are laid out pretty nice in this draft. Not even just that, but you can get yourself a star wide receiver this year. And we had the 21st pick, but you know what? Last year, Howie Roseman tried trading up for the 12th overall for Miami. I wanted one of them Clemson D linemen last year. That's what I wanted last year badly.
Me too.
But this year, Howie usually tries to move up a few spots and jump in front of somebody. We jumped in front of the Texans to get Andre Dillard. They drafted Titus Howard. So, there's a lot there's so many different combinations that they can do between free agency and the draft. I think once we know when free agency hits and then the weeks roll by, we're going to kind of know what they're going to do. I would think, but you never know. I just hope they don't draft somebody that we're like, who is this guy? Because look, JJ Arthega-Whiteside, love the guy. All right. He still doesn't have enough reps. He still didn't get enough reps, period, because the way they treated these young guys, never just threw them into play. In my opinion of JJ Arthega-Whiteside, I don't think he's going to be anything. That's just me. I just don't see it. I really just don't see it at all. It's a shame. I mean, A.J. Brown, we passed up on. DK Metcalf, we passed up on. I mean, I don't even want to say the names because it hurts. It really hurts to say these names. I mean, you're drafting guys, not even playing them. Or JR, you know what the Eagles do when the receivers make a big catch? They go to the sideline.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck is that about?
It's funny you're saying that, though, how they passed up on A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, I don't think they passed up on because I remember as soon as I looked, like, when he was balling out, I looked it up. I think he went one selection before we selected him. We took Miles Sanders. So,
yeah,
for me, it's bittersweet. It's like, okay, I love Miles. He's going to be a beast.
Yeah.
So, I'll take Miles Sanders.
That was great.
You know what I mean? It's pick your poison. It doesn't matter. Like, so I was like, at first I was upset, though. It passed A.J. Brown. I went and looked at the draft stock. It was like, oh, he went 51, 52. I was like, okay, whatever. But, yeah, it's funny how you brought up the whole Jordan Howard thing. I totally forgot that there was the pick thing involved.
Mm-hmm.
And now it starts to get me to think that later on in the year when he was healthy, why they didn't play him. And I know Miles and Boston Scott was balling out. But listen,
it's weird.
Fucking dude, man.
He's got a stinger for 6 weeks. I'm like, that's kind of weird, bro.
A stinger for 6 weeks is usually not even a week. Not even one game, 2 games. That's it. 1 week, boom, you're back in. I don't know where you got the stinger. Oh yeah, he's jammed
up. The Bears game, he got during the Bears, and then the last week he was cleared to play, and he was dressed and cleared to play. Never touched the field. There's something up. There's something.
They want that pick, man. He knew what he was doing, dude.
Sneaky bastard.
Once you brought it up, I forgot all about the pick, and now you're right, dude. Oh my god, man. Yeah, that's what it was about. I was wondering the same thing. Like, yo, why is he not even touching the ball? I know they were both balling out, like Boston Scott, Miles Sanders together. But I'm like, yeah, you got him back. Get him, incorporated. Get him in there. And like nothing. He was just standing there with his uniform on, like he was nobody. He was balling out earlier in the year.
So what they did was and what made it even more weird is they signed a bruiser back in Elijah Holyfield, which is the son of Evander Holyfield, he's the boxer, the retired boxer. So he's a big guy. He's not fast. He's a bruiser back, whatever. See what he could do. But if Howie's getting a pick back, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. There's no way. You want as much draft capital as possible. I mean, honestly, at this point, I wanted Boston Scott to start after preseason. He did excellent. He did amazing in preseason. He was making guys miss. He looked so good. I was like, damn. And then, Darren Sproles got signed. I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go with this Darren Sproles shit. And he didn't last. So
I was happy he retired.
Yeah.
Thank God, man.
So now, like, I like the speed backs. I really do like having both of them on the field because I like them not just because they can run with the football, but I'm saying they can go out for passes and their mismatches on linebackers or whatever. Look at Miles Sanders, how many these passes, like Carson Wentz, these throws that he was like the Redskins game to the back of the end zone. Like, man, that was just amazing.
I'll never forget that, man. That was one of the best throws. I think the best throw I've seen all year of any player, any quarterback. That was the best throw I've seen. One of, if not the best I've seen all year, that throw. You're talking about the one where you threw like that dart, dude. You're talking about the one, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was intercepted. I'm watching the game.
That's what I thought.
Right? I'm watching the screen. Yes, I'm like, this motherfucker, man, got picked off. And I'm like, what? I turned back around real quick and I was like in a daze. I didn't know what was going on. And now screams touchdown. I'm like, nah, hold on. And then everyone, like the whole room paused. And everyone was like, and then we're like, holy shit. Like, it was some crazy. It was wild, man.
Yeah, the ball, like it went and the ball just disappeared and the camera stopped and then nothing was said and we're like, was that caught for a touchdown? I was like, what? What touchdown?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you see the camera pause, you see the ball, and then you see one of the defenders, like he has his toes in balance and he's leaning out. Like he's leaning out. one of the Redskins defenders. I thought he picked it off and had his feet in balance. And I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, all right, it's off. That's what it looked like.
And then even seeing like I was watching Deshaun Watson one day, and Deshaun Watson was making guys miss. He was extending plays like crazy, and he's like, "Oh, look at what he's doing." And I'm sitting there and I'm like, Carson Wentz does that so many fucking times and gets no recognition for it, like
doing it for years
at all. It's
exactly.
It's just crazy. So, this, I mean, it's going to be really. I'm excited for the draft. I'm excited. I'm pretty pumped for free agency. I want to see who they're bringing on. They still need a backup quarterback as well. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, that's another thing. So, yeah. Other than that, there's so much. I mean, there's a plan in motion right now. I just don't know. If Alshon Jeffery is gone, I'll be happy. If they let him stay, I'm gonna be pissed. I might be a little pissed off. I don't know, because you have an opportunity between free agency and the draft. I mean, you got a huge opportunity to bring some talent in here, and you're going to keep a 30-year-old receiver. Nah. There's no way. There's just no way. Not saying Alshon Jeffery is bad. I'm not saying. I just don't want to risk anything. I just want to get younger. That's it, because it's time. We have to. Once Carson Wentz extension is going to be coming up, and it's just going to be crazy. You know what I mean? It's just we're not going to be able to do a lot of moves. Like, we'll be able to do moves, but we won't be able to pay top dollar for anybody. It's not going to happen. I mean, we might pay one guy this year, maybe one guy, because they have to. They got no choice. Free agency, everyone gets overpaid, whether it's a mid-tier contract or a top-tier contract. It doesn't even matter. But I'm glad what they've done with the coaching changes. I'm glad they made as many changes, with the medical staff, coaches, defense, whatever it is. It should be interesting. So I'm just waiting. I'm just reading all the rumors and all the speculation right now, and that's it. So the one move that I see that's coming up a lot is the DeMarcus Robinson, and the Eagles have their sights on DeMarcus Robinson. Because look, the Chiefs have like 6-7 top free agents. They all got to get paid. And DeMarcus Robinson was a guy who just came in. He had like 4 touchdowns this year, but he was productive as hell when he came in. So guy's hungry and wants to play, so he wants to be a starter on another team. So it is what it is. Right.
Yeah, I feel the same. Yeah. So, and they also I don't think they're going to pay. I think what's his free agent also, Sammy Watkins, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to. I mean, don't get me wrong. He had a good Super Bowl. Like, he played really well in the Super Bowl. He was solid this year throughout it, but I don't know if they're going to really pay him. I don't know, but someone said, Eagles should get him. I'm like, listen, dude, I want the top-notch receivers I can get, bro. I'm not playing no jokes no more, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want injury-prone dudes. He was in Buffalo. He was injury-prone, that shipped around. I'm like, bro, I just want someone, I want legit shit in here, man. I'm not playing no games no more, bro. Like,
yeah.
If we already had Tyreek Hill and the other guys and Travis Kelce and that, I'll be fine bringing in Sammy Watkins like they did.
Yeah.
They did, because they already had top receivers, in top whatever. You know what I'm saying? We don't.
How old is Sammy Watkins anyway? I don't even know his age.
I'm trying to think. He was drafted in the same draft as Odell Beckham in 2014. Yeah, 2014 draft. Remember the Johnny Manziel draft?
26 years old.
26. Yeah, he's young. But yeah, he's not what he was supposed to be. He was drafted ahead of Odell Beckham. Actually, he was I think the first receiver drafted. Buffalo.
Yeah, I think so.
He didn't even live up the hype, man. You know what I'm talking about? I believed in him a lot. I thought he was the best. I liked him and Mike Evans. I was like, Mike Evans. And then Odell came around. I was like, yeah, I kind of like him, but
yeah. So it should be interesting. We'll see when the time comes. I mean, I'm not screwing around either. I want them to not be like iffy on something. No, they got to go be. I want to see if Howie is promising us this year he's going to be aggressive. I got to see it. Not aggressive as he's just going to throw a 4th round pick, or if he wants to. It's not even just the signings, but he can make trades as well. So it all kind of bides together. So. We'll see. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd get rid of Jeffrey. I'd get a receiver in free agency. I'd draft a receiver, draft a corner, draft a probably draft a defensive tackle. I mean, whatever it is. There's just it's so much. It's hard to do because
But the whole get rid of Jeffrey, right? You're talking about like trade wise, correct?
yeah. I want to get something.
You don't, you don't want to get stuck with that dead cat.
No, hell no,
We got to find somebody. Hopefully, maybe the New York Jets or old boy Joe Douglas down there, and she'll be like, "Yo, bro, you want him?" Because first of all, remember he was the one who like kind of like told us to get him here because he was with the Bears with Alshon Jeffery.
Yeah.
If we give him a call, but yo, Joe Dog, come here, yo, you want a receiver? It was like a 6-round pick, 7-round pick, don't matter. Just take him out of here, bro, and take the cap with him.
All they have to do is pay $9.5 million, and just suck that up, and that's it. That's all they need to do, and we're good. We're fine. They need to suck that year up, and we're going to the heavens after that. So I mean, I just don't want because Howie admitted he's been emotionally attached to a lot of players, and you can't do that shit because you're not going to win Super Bowls that way.
I'm happy he admitted it though, because now he's starting to when you go out in public and you admit your flaws, you know that he must look himself in the mirror or talk to himself privately to himself and said to himself yeah, you know what, I have these problems. So you know what? Now I'm going to say them publicly to people, and he's going to fix that. He's not going to be that way. I feel it because you don't just go out and just say that randomly, I'm attached to a player. I think it's something he's been thinking of, and I think maybe him and Lori had some. Of course, they always have meetings. They're probably at the end of the season, man, blah 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 blah. And though I ain't gonna lie, Howie, depending on what he does, but I think Howie, Lori, and Doug. Well, I'll put Carson Wentz in there too. But those four are the most hungry to win a Super Bowl again. I feel like they want to do it again, and that's why I think Lori jumps in the picture, and Lori says to Howie, hey, listen. We want to get another one, dude. We don't want to just sit back and win one and keep the same guys. We're I think after this season, because coming to this season, there was a lot of hype that, this team is better on paper. And after the end of the season, you see what happened. Coaches get fired. This gets changed. Everything goes down. Lori's in the middle of everything now. Lori's saying, I want this guy fired. We bring in a council. And then he probably had to sit down with Howie and was like, listen, man, I don't want one. I want more than one Super Bowl, And me and you both, we both get attached to players. We got to cut that loose. They probably talked a little, and I think that's what really happened. I think there's a few people in that organization that are committed to wanting to win more than one. Of course, the owner does because he brings him more revenue, more money, and also he just wants to win more for Philly and Jeff Lurie. Howie Roseman also. I think maybe it's all together collaboration.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson, of course, is the head coach. Doesn't want to win Super Bowls, and Carson Wentz. Absolutely, because he didn't get to do it himself, and he wants to get that monkey off his back. It's almost like Joe Montana when he went on them Super Bowls, and they traded him to Kansas City, and they started Steve Young, and Steve Young just couldn't get past the hump, and they were saying he's better, whatever. They were booing him, everything. And then when he finally won the Super Bowl, Steve Young, he was screaming, "I got the monkey off my back! Got the monkey back!" And
yeah.
It's the same way, but it's not even the monkey because Nick Foles is not even close to no damn Joe Montana, okay? But he brought the city the first Super Bowl. That's the whole reason, okay?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Pee Wee fucking Harmon could have played quarterback and won us the first Super Bowl. It still would have been a monkey on Carson Wentz's back, even though he's a better quarterback and all that. We get that. But still, it's still going to hold him down. Every day he has to walk out and see a backup quarterback that was his statue out front of the freaking stadium. You know what I'm saying? Damn. That's something. That's not like Aaron, when Aaron Rodgers got drafted by the Packers, you see Vince Lombardi's statue. You see this. And then you eventually see a Favre statue. These guys are great.
Yeah.
But he walks past them every day damn, bro, I got to fill them shoes. Wentz walks past it. He's I got to fill them shoes. But at the same time, it's this guy's a backup now. He's still a backup in Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? I love dude. I love Nick Foles, but I'm just saying, you get what I'm trying to say? He's probably look at that stature every time
he can't play. He can't play anywhere else. He can't. I don't think he can play anywhere else, unfortunately.
He can't. That's what I'm saying. But I think it plays with Carson Wentz's head like it does some other guys. He's walking past that statue, damn. This was the backup that I got hurt, and he wins the Super Bowl. And everyone's loving him. He has a statue out front of the stadium that I was drafted in the first round. They trade up to get me. So he's trying to get that monkey off his back himself, Carson Wentz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you see, like even when you watch like All for Nothing, like he was like going to the tent, he was like he wanted to go back and play. Like he cannot stand like having a play off. Like he cannot stand it. You know what I mean? So because he don't want that shit happening again. I'm like when McCown came in that playoff game, I was like, yeah, let's go, Josh McCown. I'm like, I can't believe I'm saying that right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
When Carson got hurt, my heart dropped, bro. I sat in my seat and I was like, I was at the game. I sat in my seat and I was like, I had my hands like this. I was just like, don't even fucking tell me this is happening. Like I was like, you know what? I got to keep rooting. You gotta give this guy support, you know. And then McCown gets hurt on top of it. Like takes and he was crying after the game. I felt so bad. Like he never been in a playoff game before. He never has. It's like his as a journeyman for years on how many teams he's been on. He's never played in a playoff game. And when he came in, you know, he just couldn't do enough. And there were some guys, our receivers couldn't get open that game. Our receivers just couldn't. Receivers really didn't get open. There was a few passes that were screwed up by McCown, but.
And how insane was it that when he signed with this team, I don't know if you remember him saying this, but when he signed with this team, he said, because he came out of retirement. Remember that, right?
Right.
He goes, the reason I signed here is because it gives me the best chance to possibly win a Super Bowl, even if it's as a backup. Or like as the backup, or even start or whatever, I had the best chance of actually winning a Super Bowl in my career. That's what he thought. Like, hey, I'm going to a team just won a Super Bowl a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. They got the pieces. I can be the backup and get myself a ring, and I can go back to retirement and walk out with a ring. He said that. Yeah. And I think what happened was once Wentz got hurt, he stepped in and said, all right, I got my shot here to kind of save the team, my first playoff game. And then he's probably thinking to himself, wow, imagine if I ball out here and I actually pull a Nick Foles story and I win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, but in general, I felt bad for him, man, because he went in there with that mindset. Even as a backup, he's like, I just want to win. I'm here because I think it was the best possible chance to me win a championship before I like actually check out. As a backup, as a teacher, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad, man. And, you know, I don't know, dude. But yeah, Wentz, like, he's still struggling. And that's why I felt so bad when Wentz got hurt, bro. Of course, I was still cheering for the team. But, bro, honestly, at the same time, I was kind of like, fuck it, bro. Like, I'm not even going to lie. Because
how I found out about it was a row in front of me and, like, probably 5 people down. And he's like, oh, shit, you guys, we ain't going to like this shit. And I said, what? And then the guy showed his phone of the fucking hit. And I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I was like, bullshit. And then, you know, even when McCown got in there, like he was extending plays. He was actually working the pocket pretty good, but nobody was open. I mean, he tried running a few times. He tried to shoot one to Miles Sanders on a little sideline pass, and he kind of threw it he kind of threw it away from him a little bit. Miles couldn't get his hands on it. You know, there was just a few times, but, you know, we fought to the end. You know, I couldn't really bitch about it because what we had on the field, you know what I mean? We and then on top of losing Wentz at the same time, it's like if Wentz goes through this shit again, that we win the Super Bowl with another backup quarterback, oh man, bro,
it's almost like what Donovan McNabb said back in the day: the most popular position in all of Philly sports is backup quarterback. Donovan McNabb said this back in the day, and he's right. Look, Nick Foles, then. If Josh McCown would have done it, it would have been like, all right, fuck it. We keep wins here and just bring up the best backups we can. Just let them get hurt and let them take over. Shit. I mean, but yeah, like, once Wentz got hurt, I was like, it sucked the wind out of me. I was kind of not. I was like,
I was into the game.
I still wanted us to win, of course.
Right.
I was kind of like, because the whole reason I wanted us to make the playoffs is because I wanted to see what Wentz could do in the playoffs.
Right.
Win or lose the game. But if he lost but threw 3 touchdowns, 400 yards, no turnovers, but we lost, I can walk away and go, yo, he had a hell of a damn performance. And, you know, we can build on that. So once he left the game, I was like, man, I don't give a fuck about this. I mean, I give a fuck about it, but it seemed like at the first moments, I was like, I don't give a fuck about this game anymore, bro. Honestly, win or lose, I don't give a shit. And then later, I started cheering. For the
Yeah.
first, it's what I want, what I've been waiting to see for the past how many years? 4 years, to see wins in those playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And him to first off shut up the critics by having them clutch performances against the Redskins, the Giants, the Cowboys game, come back to get us in the playoffs, take us all the way there. I felt so bad for him that he finally gets there and he's like moving around, boom, boom, and bam, gets the hit, and he gets robbed out of everything.
And then, if you notice, like even when this game started, when the first few series on offense, we looked like shit. Like we looked
Yeah,
like Miles Sanders was already injured. Boston Scott, I think we ran at the first series. It was like we passed the ball incomplete, we threw it out of bounds or something like that, and then we ran with Miles Sanders like twice, and it went nowhere. Boston Scott gets the ball, and then they stopped using the whole, like once they started using something and it worked for one game, it didn't work. They didn't do it for another game. You know what I mean? Like they used it. You know what I mean? Boston Scott went out and got like 6 yards, and it was 4th down. I'm like, dude, like you're running the ball. We're running the ball with an injured running back, and he's not even getting 2 yards. I mean, the first few series were horrible. I'm like, dude, like what are we doing? Like what are we doing? I'm like, just I didn't know what to do. I was like, Mike Rowe, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like I'm tired of this shit.
yeah, exactly.
I'm tired of this shit now.
At
Now
the
you
end of the
don't
day,
feel like playing.
and at the end of the day, that's what happened.
That's what happened. And the first 2 that went, I couldn't believe when I don't know what happened. We'll never know what happened. But Doug had to change his statement about them two, Carson Walsh and Mike Rowe. He said they were staying in 2020, and then all of a sudden, some bullshit happened. Something happened. Either Howie and or Jeffrey Lurie like was like, nah, we're probably gonna move on, or something happened. Something must have happened. So.
Well, I agree with Lori and them. Yeah, get rid of them over.
What I didn't want to happen was Press Taylor become the OC. I was like, I'm waiting for it. I'm fucking waiting for it. I'm waiting. They're not going to get off the Caldwell. They're just going to be like, let's just promote within. Let's just keep doing this promoting from within bullshit, because I can't deal with that anymore. So I mean, if Press Taylor is a passing game coordinator, I'm fine with that. I'm good with that. Whatever.
And I think this is Lori's idea,
right?
And Lori's not the promote within guy. I think the Mike Rowe thing, I think that was more Doug's idea,
right?
Which you could, I mean, I at first I ain't gonna lie, because Mike Rowe, as much as we hate him as an offensive coordinator, he was a phenomenal wide receiver coach. What he did his first year here as a wide receiver coach, what he did with the Rams, what he did with multiple people having 1,000-yard seasons, he turned Aguilar into a beast in that Super Bowl season. Alshon, he was with him with the Bears. So I was like, yo, he's a phenomenal wide receiver coach, which I ain't going to lie. He is. He's phenomenal. So I was like, promote him OC. He might know something. But, yeah, it didn't work out. But I think Howie took back over. Lori took back over and was like, all right, listen, we're going to do it this way. We're going to do it like we did from the start.
Mm-hmm.
When I first hired you, Doug, you brought in the OC, Frank Reich, who was an outside eye. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to have a council. Multiple people. We're gonna if 1 week the offense starts to look shaky or weird, we'll have this person's opinion.
Right, exactly.
And then each week incorporate stuff if stuff starts to crumble and fumble and just not like look right, if that makes any sense.
I mean, that Graham Harrell, that's the guy you were talking about from the Trojans from USC. That's Graham Harrell. And he was like, he's only been a coordinator for a year. Yeah. It was only a year. And the Trojans didn't really, I don't even think they had a good record at all this past year.
I know, but I just was reading what I was reading. I didn't even watch the Trojans. You know what I'm saying? No. But I just read, and they were like, oh, yeah, he revolutionized, not revolutionized, but he like changed their offense. He put the air raid into it. Their offense is putting up numbers and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow. It reminded me of almost like Andy Reid, how with the Kansas City Chiefs, he runs the West Coast system.
Mm-hmm.
What he did was when he brought in Pat Mahomes, who came from an air raid system, he kind of implemented the air raid and the West Coast together. And you see what it's become. And I said, well, if you bring in a guy who has an air raid system and Doug who runs a West Coast kind of system, you do the same implements, it'll be the same thing as the Chiefs. Basically, you get what I'm trying to say? But
right.
The way it was going. That's why I kind of was getting on the hire. I'm like, I kind of like that. But then I think he just interviewed with us just to make more money with USC. I think he got I think he got sign. They gave him more money or something. I don't know.
Probably.
He uses it as a leverage and shit.
So I mean, yeah, I'm good with Jeff Stalin and Deuce Staley with the running coordinator. That's fine. You know, I mean, Jeff Stalin does a great job with the O line, and Deuce does great with the running back. So you know, it's it is what it is. So I mean, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I mean, there's so many different things they could do. There's going to be something's going to happen that's going to be a little surprising, probably in a positive way and maybe in a negative way. You never really know, but Eagles need to get younger, and they need to get a roster together this year. I mean, look at all around us in the NFC East. I mean, there's coach changes. I mean, everyone else is changing. I mean, we're changing a little bit, but everyone else is getting new head coaches. I mean, it's getting bad now with everybody, you know. But you know, we need to get our shit together, and we need to run this fucking East and get this done. So
exactly, and I feel like I feel like the way it's going, like this, as we're getting closer to ending this video, I feel like me and you should also make another video as the off season goes along.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll have another video for anyone who's watching or everything or is going to watch. We'll have another video up talking about before the draft, not before the draft, but like week 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the draft, like when it starts to really get popping.
Yeah,
you're looking at mocks. And if free agency stuff really pops off, we'll have other videos and stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, shit.
So if you guys have not, it's in the description of the live stream. If you have not, I put IamCarlo's link to his channel in the description. So if you guys can, please subscribe to that. We try to do live streams together as much as possible. Our work schedules are kind of screwed up. I mean, we both work, positively pretty late. So we try to, I honestly forgot what we talked about last time we live streamed. And you said it was after the Miami. It was during that time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot we even did that because I was going to ask beforehand. What I was like, oh, did we talk about something? Did we already do an off-season thing earlier, like right when the season ended? I didn't really remember too much. So we'll get together again. I'm probably going to be doing a free agency live stream. I'm going to be off that day. I'm going to be doing a free agency live stream probably like 2:30. I know free agency starts at 4 p.m. next month, whatever date it is. I'm probably gonna be doing a live stream at like 2:30 p.m. and just talk about what's going on and you know, kind of just sit, chill, hang out, and just listen to what's going on pretty much as we're kind of sitting here. So that's what I'm probably gonna do. I'll have a post up for that. But other than that, I'm pretty much good. I think we pretty much went over everything, and it's just a waiting game now. So we just need to see what happens, and that's it. So
feel the same way, y'all want to check me out? Subscribe to me, whatever. We'll be back here. We're definitely got to do another one, man. Before free agency, like when it gets real close, or more rumors come out, more things, or after free agency, before the draft. You know, we'll see what pops. I don't know.
Yeah. No, we'll get together. So if that's it, I'm good. I'm good. So other than that, guys, we will see you later. I'll have another post up once we know another date. I'll put another post up on what's going on. Sorry about the difficulty today for the 22 in here. I really do appreciate it. If you subscribe to the channel, subscribe to IamCarlo, please. I really do appreciate it. Give them the support. And that's it. So we'll see you guys later. All right, guys. Fly will fly. Peace out, guys.